manufacturers when you add the badge Sport. What does it really mean? Well, for the most part, it just comes across as aggressive styling, and that's pretty much it. So for the enthusiast, what do you truly want from that Sport badge? Well, you want obviously a great suspension setup, decent power, and just an all-around fun driving experience. We're in Death Valley. We've got the 2017 Elantra Sport, and we're going to test to see if this blue number has what it takes to live up to that Sport name. We drove the Elantra back in January, and Bradley Brownell, our associate editor, came back and couldn't stop raving about the car. It's very well equipped, nicely styled, comfortable, and fun to drive. Now, with the Sport, you do get aggressive styling. We get the HID treatment up front, LED taillights at the back, and a very good-looking set of 18-inch wheels with Hankook ultra-high performance all-season tires. Two big takeaways with this car. One, Albert Biermann, formerly of BMW M, is now fully in charge of the dynamic abilities of the new Elantra, and it does show. Specifically, damper control in this car is phenomenally well done. Any road, doesn't matter, it feels composed, it's firm, but it's not overly harsh. It is very, very fun to drive quickly on these wonderful open desert roads. Now the interior, it's nicely equipped with some leather bucket seats. We get a flat bottom wheel, red accents on the seats and the steering wheel, and red needles for the gauges. Adds to a little bit of the sporting pretensions of the interior of this Elantra Sport. Now the touch points, there is some plastic around, but it's a soft plastic. It's not that scratchy, nasty stuff that you can see on other vehicles. You get a nice rubber dash. It's a very nice place to be. Now Hyundai's intention was the interior needs to be a class above, and I think that they executed that fairly well. We do get the 8-inch display. You get Android Auto as standard, as well as Apple CarPlay, so the new technology is finding its way into this car. Now the 6-speed manual Elantra Sport starts at $21,650. You get the dual clutch transmission, and it goes to $22,750. Still very well priced to be able to be into this segment. The only additional option that you have is the premium package, which you get all sorts of your extra 8-inch screen and everything else that's with the car, and that's a $2,400 option. Me personally, I would stick with the manual, leave all the rest of the tech out if you really don't need it, just need an honest to drive everyday car. Now specifically where Hyundai is going with the segment, they're going after the upcoming Civic Si as well as the Jetta GLI. And this car does have a very, dare I say it, Volkswagen feel about it. It's not a bad thing. It's tight. It's responsive. Turning is really good. It does tend to understeer, though, with those all-season tires, which brings me to why one small complaint about it. It is a sporting car. It has sporting pretensions. So I really would like to see some summer performance tires with the car. I really think that it would waken this thing up in the hard driving in the canyons if you had really sticky rubber. Now speaking of everything that's going on with the body, you have a 53% increase of high-strength steel, which adds to this chassis rigidity. Now with the 2016 Elantra, there was 10 feet of structural adhesives into the car. Now it's 394 feet. This is like aircraft level of structural adhesive going into your Elantra. A $21,000 Elantra with some aircraft level stuff going on with it. That's exciting, and it has to be. The big differences between the standard Elantra and the Elantra Sport is in the terms of the suspension. You still do get McPherson struts up front with both, but you had the torsion beam axle with the standard Elantra, and now you have a multi-link rear suspension. It is exceptionally compliant, exceptionally well damped on these rough roads. It's firm, yet very responsive, and it's still actually very comfortable. This is a car you can just jump in, you're daily driving it, or you can road trip across the country, does not matter. It's a very capable and comfortable car. Other things with the Elantra Sport is you don't get any of these speaker jazz throwing through with getting engine sound in the car. It actually does have a sound too. It does have the maximum allowable level for this segment of car. Also, you do get a very nice sporty exhaust note that's with it. Turbo whooshy noises all throughout. It's actually a lot of fun. Here we go. Comes out of corners well, good power. It's a fun to drive car. Now here's something that this kind of reminds me of slightly. One of our favorites to drive recently was the Nissan Sentra SR Turbo. And where that car didn't take itself too seriously, it just felt like a rental car with a manual. That was something that was a very enjoyable and endearing quality. This feels just a bit more serious. I actually think it corners a lot flatter, which is a bit more confidence-inspiring rather than the complete rotating larryness that is the Sentra SR Turbo. It's not necessarily going to be a roly-poly, fun-to-drive Sentra SR. It's going to be a little bit more serious.
So you have a good-looking, fun-to-drive car that represents a terrific value in this market segment. Now, does the Elantra Sport have the teeth to be able to bite its way through the competition? Perhaps. But all I know is I had a good time driving the Elantra Sport. It's a solid offering that actually drives a lot better than you would expect, all while offering a great warranty. Now, for a daily driver, you couldn't ask for much more.